How's it going, guys? We're back with another video. Here with Mooney. There's David. We're actually in my work office right now and got a bit of an update for the Fox body. As you saw in the previous episode, we constructed an air dam and put a temporary front splitter in the car. Well, now it's time to cut version 2. So let me show you what that is. Here is a 3D CAD model of what the splitter is going to look like. It's pretty simple, just 3/4 pine wood. It's got a little access door so that I can stick my hand in there and change my oil. Some bracing along the top, but yeah, it's pretty simple. I know a lot of people don't have access to programs like this, but there's a lot of free 3D CAD programs you can use to at least, make some kind of concept of what you're doing. I will be CNC cutting this out just because I have access to it here in this building. But yeah, I think we're gonna make the CNC files right now, run out to the shop and get this thing cut.
Oops.
See what I mean?
Damn. Let's go get that part.
Alright guys, as you can see, we have all the parts cut. So we're gonna go ahead and start sanding everything down, knocking these tabs off, sanding it down, getting it prepped, and then assembling this thing. Now you guys are probably wondering why we went with wood for the splitter, and that's actually just because of cost. A lot of guys use things like aluminite, aluminum, carbon fiber, but that stuff is just so expensive. So we went with 3/4 inch wood here. It's readily available, it's really strong, and easy to cut. Now you guys don't need a CNC machine to do this kind of thing. Don't get deterred by the fact that we used one. It's like I said before, it's just because we have access to one, but you can totally get these kind of results with a basic reciprocating saw, jigsaw, or and a router. Some of you might be thinking, wouldn't this thing catch on fire? We are gonna do some stuff to prevent that from happening. We do have some. We do have this. This is Fire Tech. It's actually a coating that you saturate the wood with. It absorbs into the wood and it gives it fire resistant qualities. So we're gonna go ahead and once we're done assembling this thing, we're gonna coat it in this stuff and give it a coat of paint. I don't know how long this takes to dry. Yeah, so you might give this thing a coat of this fire resistant goo and do some heat reflective tape on the area that sits underneath the motor. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a sander and start sanding this thing. also the Jose struggling.
Dude, need to get the,
I gotta be doing something wrong.
technical difficulties. You need to get that, David.
Can I get it?
Aha! What happened? Maybe that's the bottom. What is happening?
Maybe it moved.
Is that normal?
No. Don't do it again. It's gonna do it again.
It looks.
The bit moved
Oh,
down
the
a bit.
bearing.
It looks like the bit moved down a bit.
The bearing exploded.
Oh,
There's
shit.
supposed to be a bearing here. Look.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
Probably right there.
Too close. Next.
Do I have another one?
Another piece of wood.
Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a drill bit and just drill a few little holes here so that when I flip it over, I can tell where to put the screws and the staples. And then I'll put my bracing in, put my door frame. The door I'm not gonna put on just yet because I don't have the right bolts. I might drill the holes, but I can't bolt it together yet.
I might have the right bolts.
I have bolts, I just don't have the right bolts. I can put some bolts now. Actually, I'll put bolts in it now and I'll swap them out later.
I might have some bolts.
Countersunk bolts? Pathead bolts? Pathead is this.
Who are we texting?
Kirby girl. That's what it is.
You didn't have to tell me, I was just kidding. Look how much smoother it is though. Oh god, what's happening?
Oh, we're going back now.
These are just pilot holes so that I can see.
Your tools are supposed to be dirty. Dirty, used.
Saturday.
All kinds of tape to fix your little... That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm talking about. This is a tool that is being used.
On our next episode, we get our tools dirty.
So you know it's used by men.
Who's gonna be the brave soul that's gonna hold this while I shoot staples at them?
Yeah.
Square a little of that. Oh, you guys want to weight this thing?
Just move it. Like a god. Here, say it out loud.
28.8 pounds. I'm gonna just cover the whole thing.
Just lather it.
Yes, I'm probably just gonna put it on this here rack. And
Right, just dump it.
just gonna dump it on top.
Freaking dump it. Just dump
It's supposed to soak it in.
all
right?
that.
I don't know how this works.
Yeah, but how much?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly, that's what we're gonna find out.
Watch out, guys, this might be flammable. Wait.
What?
No. Counterproductive.
Oh no, he's gonna soak it in anti-gasoline.
Dripping everywhere.
Everything's becoming less.
Oh, I like the color.
Alright guys, I think we're gonna call it a night for tonight. It's almost 11 p.m. Splitter's here, it's drying up. As you saw, we soaked it in that fire retardant solution. We're just letting it soak into the wood. It'll seep into it and have this whole surface be fire resistant. So we're just gonna let this thing dry up a little bit more, pack it up, take it home, and I think Saturday morning we're gonna go to Mooney's house and install this thing, so we'll see you guys there.
One eternity later.
Okay, we're at Jose's house now. It's a couple days later from that last clip, and we do have the Mustang here. The splitter is actually underneath the car. This is what we're looking at right now. Here's the splitter. I just gave it a quick coat of like black spray paint just to make it look somewhat not so wood looking or whatever. So plan is we're gonna remove this temporary splitter. This is like the version 1. We're gonna remove the tape that's just used to take up the gap between the splitter and the air dam. So we gotta unscrew it from the core support and unscrew it from the bumper. We're gonna keep this air dam and we're gonna bolt the splitter to the chassis using these brackets right here. There's some brackets that I got from Home Depot. They're pretty durable. I actually have some stronger ones. These. But they might not be tall enough. They're a lot shorter. Yeah, they're not gonna be tall enough. This bracket's barely tall enough to fit in there. And I think it should be plenty strong. I mean, this stuff is used for construction. If it can hold a house, it could probably hold my splitter to the car. So, there's existing bolts in there. They're really hard to see, so we might not be able to get it on camera, but there's a bolt going this way on this frame rail. Same thing on that side. There's a bolt going that way on that frame rail. And these will land somewhere about here, like that. So one bracket here and one bracket on the other side. That will give us our main attachment point. From there on out, we need to find a way to attach the rear of the diffuser to the car, because right now the rear of the diffuser is lining up with like the edge of the oil pan. And then something in the front, which we might or might not have time for tonight. But as long as this thing is strong enough to drive on the freeway for now, I'll probably leave it like that, and then someday I'll go back in there and really reinforce it to handle downforce that speed. Right now I just needed enough to drive on the freeway. But yeah, like I said, we'll revisit this another time and reinforce it. Yeah, so for now, old splitter off, new splitter on. So we just covered the whole I guess the majority of the splitter with heat reflective tape, so it's just an added layer of protection. We also got our brackets basically lined up, one there, one down there, so those will be our main brackets. We'll add more brackets to the back of the splitter, holding it to somewhere in the back of the car, and maybe something in the front. So now it's time to mount this thing up. We give up. It's 2:10 a.m. and the Mark II splitter is a complete failure. Problem number 1. It's too narrow. As you can see, I really wanted the splitter to come out to like about here. It's too narrow on both sides. Problem number 2. The bracket on that side is very inaccessible. We would have to remove a lot of the fan and fan shroud and cooling system just to reinforce that mount, because it pivots and it hits the tire. I think we're on the right track with this. The V3 or Mark III splitter, whatever we want to call it, would have to be wider. It would have to be narrower this way, because we had to cut pretty much that whole back portion off, because it does not clear the sway bar and the subframe on the same level. So the splitter actually ends about here, where before it was going all the way back to here. So that whole part we had to cut off. There's pieces of it everywhere. Yeah, see, David's got a piece there, and there's another piece over there on the ground. So we cut it once. It still was too long. Then we cut it again. So it has to be narrower this way. It has to be wider this way and this way. That door is completely unnecessary, because the splitter stops here and the oil filter is back here, so we can still access the oil filter and do our oil changes. And the very last, so the door needs to be scrapped, and then the very last change is those supports to stiffen up the splitter need to be eliminated, and we have to support it a different way, because those add height to the splitter and it contacts the radiator support, and it won't sit high enough, and it creates an insane gap down here. And if there's a gap, air leaks through. Splitter's basically useless. But I mean, when I say we're on the right track, it supports my weight, and I'm about 180 pounds. So yeah, we're gonna call it a night. We're exhausted. We really wanted to get this car done to take it to the Pomona show in the morning, but we're not gonna make it. I mean, I'm just not gonna take the car. Probably just take the Camaro and a different car and just walk around, not have the Mustang there, which sucks, but you know, we have to take our time with this. We need it to be right. If this thing falls off, it's gonna wreck the car somehow. So I think we're just gonna clean up, call it a night. Sorry guys, next time you see the splitter project, I'm sure we'll get it right the third time. Third time's a charm. So thanks for watching. Check out our merch. What else do we do?
Instagram.
Check out our Instagram. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.